Architects for necessary security changes in the amount of $2,232.50, funds provided from TBA capital outlay. Is that Mr. Bach?
Yep. This is for NSA, who is the architects that we have a contract with for the media center and the rec building. This is specifically for the media center. We had a request from the city clerk and IT. We had to move a door from one wall to the other, and it also required some low voltage electrical and a scanner for security. That's basically what it is, change order.
Is there any questions on that?
Was that for easy access or was that
And security.
security? Is it closer to the building or?
No, to my knowledge, it was the inner door where we wanted the scan badge and we wanted to remove the one outer door.
I just know one door was eliminated and one was added in a different
Yeah,
location, but
security.
they also had to do some shot drawings for the contractor for the low voltage. They had a light switch had to be moved, they had to run electrical to it, they had a low voltage for the scanner cards for security, had to be purchased and moved, because they didn't have to have one in the other locations, so they had to move.
Tim,
Yeah.
going forward changes, what would we expect as far as coming to us to approve the changes versus coming us to approve the invoice for the changes?
This one, I would usually come to you before changes, but in this instance, they were putting drywall up. They're moving at such a speed that I couldn't stop them. For $2,000, we would set the project behind, because they are moving very quickly on this project. And for me to delay it to this council meeting would have delayed the project. And we do not have any contingency with NSA.
Okay.
That contract is zero contingency. Now, we do have contingency across the contractor, but this is
Right.
from the engineer and architectural side. I do apologize, but I didn't want to hold the project up.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
$2,000.
$2,200 doesn't seem like a big deal. I just didn't know there's going to be, if there's going to be more
There
going
may be
forward.
some more, we're seeing little things. There's a lot of change orders, not all of them have a cost associated with them. This one happened to have a cost associated with them. And I'm trying my hardest to avoid any extra costs with them, but like I said, we do not have any contingency that we approved with the NSA contract.
Any other questions? Okay, number 15 was to be deleted. Item 16 is a motion to approve a one-year extension between the City of Taylor and L's Asphalt. Contract expires December 31st, 2019. Mr. Bach?
Yes, this is an extension in the contract. This would be their third year. The contract reads, it was, Richard, you got the dates written down?
Yes, so the first initial term was from July 1st, 2017 through December 31st, 2018, with 3 one-year extensions possible upon mutual consent.
So we would have another one-year
So
extension?
we could have a possible number of one-year extensions.
I don't think one is going to happen, though, because the material costs are going up quite a bit. We were surprised that he's holding his prices for this year. As the council probably knows, with our FAC projects going way over budget, the reason those are going over budget is because of material costs for asphalt. He did give us a letter saying he'll hold his prices, and the reason he could do that is because he secured a PO from his supplier into next year that holds his prices.
So if he comes back and says, hey, I can't do it, we go out to bid at that point, right? Because if
I mean,
we're
if you
going to
can't-
approve this for a 1 year, then we need to hold him to this contract, because I don't want the contract being passed for 1 year and then him come in July and say, hey, I got to up my
And we
prices.
should know like
Because the
6 months
prices,
before.
so, I mean, if that's the case, then we need to put that out to bid, correct?
Yeah, if you don't honor the pricing,
Yeah.
that would be cause for termination of the
Okay.
contract, which would result in a rebid of the
And
actual product.
No, I'm
that's
not
one of the
saying you would, I'm
reasons
just saying that.
we're not bringing forward a concrete extension. This year, he's already refused to do project for us because he couldn't do it at the unit rate prices he gave us. So there's no reason to try to get a contract extension for concrete. So we're going to be going out to bid for the concrete because he just couldn't hold his prices because the material costs went up too high.
That's right.
How far in do you project when he's going to get a job, like for next year? Is he already projected on what's going to be happening in the city for next year?
Yeah, I can tell you right now, Monroe street done as soon as the weather permits that. We wanted to get that done, this year, and because of the weather that we had, we stopped them from moving forward on Monroe. That, I know that's a major street, and that's about a $500,000 project. That he's gonna be doing first, and we already have it in the budget, and it's been approved in the budget for specific.
So we've already given him that job, and so all of a sudden, if this council changed its mind and said, go out for a rebid.
No, that job was approved in the, I got a blanket PO for that job when we did the budget for Monroe. He did not finish that this year because he had a lot of other projects that he did for us. But that one, I don't have all the streets, but we still have money in the budget. I think there's 4 local roads that are scheduled to be done in the summer also that has already been funded by council and approved for him to proceed, and Monroe, which is a major road, is already been.
So if we didn't extend his contract, he would still get the job anyway?
No, we would rebid it and the cost would change.
So we
And I might not be able to
guarantee
get it
the job.
done at these current prices. I might have to come back. Well, I would have to probably come back to get a budget.
I got a question also. When you put out the bids, and you get the bids back, and sometimes we get these letters saying that they're not going to bid. In 2017, we had a letter come back, oh, that's another thing. Do they do their own asphalt, or do they buy it from an asphalt making company?
They buy their asphalt.
They
They don't
buy it
have a
from a
plan.
non-making, from a company that makes asphalt. They
Yes.
don't make their own
No,
through their own company,
No.
so they actually buy asphalt from another company.
correct.
So with that being said, in 2017, do you remember the letter coming back from one of the major asphalt companies in the state that make their own asphalt? And in that statement, that we have reviewed this information and must respectfully inform the city that we cannot provide the city of Taylor with a responsible bid for this project for the following. The current documents, in our opinion, lack the appropriate information, such as bid quantities, plans, project log, proposed work location, and plan typical in order to Cadillac Asphalt to provide the city with a responsible bid. Now, when that occurs, do we follow up on that with that company, asking them what they meant?
That would be finance department that follows up on those.
Do you ever ask them, go back and ask them what they meant by this, so that we could get an answer of what they're actually talking about?
On the ones that we might need additional information, yes. That one there with the lack of quantities in bid, it was pretty straightforward that we did have to reach out to them and ask
Did you reach out to this company to ask them what the problem was?
Well, they stated in that letter that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Would it not be wise to maybe find out what they're talking about more realistically? Because what I have a concern with, and I've talked to a couple of companies, these big asphalt companies that make their own asphalt, couldn't they do a better bid than another company that's buying asphalt from them?
That doesn't apply on FAC projects.
I'm just saying.
I mean, we get bids through FAC, as a matter of fact. Proline don't make their own asphalt, and they got the Beach Daily Road, because they were lower than the big asphalt companies. They had 2 big asphalt, Cadillac, and who's the other one? Ajax, they both bid on it, and they were higher. So that doesn't necessarily translate to what you're trying to say. What you're saying is if you make your own asphalt, you have a competitive
Should be
bid,
cheaper.
but it doesn't translate that way, because it just happened to us on Beach Daily Road. That goes out to bid statewide, and they bid on it, but they weren't the low bid. Proline Asphalt, who is from Washington Township, is probably the same size, if not smaller than Al's, got the bid.
Is, by chance, Al's Asphalt, are they union?
I have no idea.
None? We don't worry about that, though, do we? We don't care about whether it's union or not.
We take the low bid, that's up to council. We make the recommendation when we go out.
Can you
to
find
bid.
that out for me?
Excuse me?
Let me know tomorrow, please.
I can find
I
out.
appreciate that. So basically, you don't think it would be a good idea right now to rebid it?
Not at these prices. That's up to the city council. If you want me to rebid it, I will, but you're not gonna maintain these prices. You're gonna pay more for your asphalt roads. That's up to the city council.
So you said, we don't know.
This is a 3-year pricing problem. If the prices increased 3 years in a row,
But we don't know.
then That's your prerogative.
Well, I'm
No,
just
it's not
asking
bid.
you.
I wouldn't bring it to you if I didn't think that there would be some savings for the city.
It just-
I'd be neglecting my duties if I
I
did
just
not
think
bring it to you.
sometimes these 3-year extensions sometimes don't kind of get us in trouble. It'd be almost like a perpetual contract too, that would get you in trouble. But that's,
Well, the charter allows you to do a 3-year contract.
well, I know it does. I'm just saying, you know, for the council.
It's difficult to do a 3-year contract for something like this when you have material costs that go up annually. You know, I was actually kind of surprised that Al gave us a letter, because when I talked to him about if you want to, and he said, I'll get back to you in a couple weeks. It took him about 3 weeks to get back to me, because he was making sure that he can hold his prices with the plants where he purchases his asphalt. But, I mean, this is up to the city council. If you don't want to give the extension, I'll be happy to go out to bid again.
That's fine. I'm just-
So Dan, is this the last extension, or do we have one?
There is one more after this,
There's one
but
more.
I don't think he would honor another year, because it
What
was.
were those dates again?
Um,
The original contract?
The original contract was July 1st, 2017 through December 31st of 2018. And we did that, we did a year and a half for the first period to get us on the contract, or on the construction season.
So, yeah,
It could kind of, no, it didn't make any sense to have the contract break in the middle of construction season. So that was the first, was a year and a half, which from July 1st, 17 through December 31st, 18. The last extension was January 1st of 19 through December 31st of 19. So the next contract would be January 1 of 2020 through December 31st of 2019.
Thank you.
Do you happen to remember if we had other bidders on the original?
I don't think so.
No, there was only one bid.
Plus,
Plus the letter of intention reference.
Yeah, the way we did the bid, I believe he didn't, and I just got to answer, they are not union, they are non-union. We didn't have quantities specified in the bid documents. The way that we did it is we used the previous years, let them know what the previous year's quantities were, because we didn't want to get locked in the contract of a specific amount, and we didn't know how much we were getting in the budget. That's the problem with the asphalt contract and the concrete contract, is we can't give a defined quantity in the bid spec, because we don't know from year to year how much money we're getting from the state to do concrete roads.
But you're just normally you're just asking in the bid for like
A unit
square
price.
foot, a unit price.
Yes,